Hello traders, welcome to a post-session review. Today is Friday, August 30th, and today had kind of a break-even day in the intraday. Unfortunately, we keep our little struggle here of this back and forth, but we'll keep engaging. We'll keep looking for those stringers of winners to come along and help take this account in the direction that it needs to get to. For now, we'll just keep deploying our money management. We'll keep deploying our strategy, our trade plan, stay on the 3 pillars of trading, and we expect good things to happen as a result of those. For today, we want to see, for transparency, $60 drawdown here, $60 here, account balance here, matches here, and everything is in alignment here. We're going to remove that. We're going to reduce this, and we're going to cover the intraday trades, and then we're going to get into the longer term trades. And I also want to address a particular post, and we'll deal with that one when we talk about the longer term. As far as today, we had what we've been dealing with for a very long time now is these huge, gigantic swings that tend to throw the risk reward and the overall intraday order flow for a humongous loop here. So I wanted to requalify a smaller, more immediate order flow, and we can see here that regardless of what's in the past, we see that we have a clear high, clear low, lower high, new structure low, lower high, new structure low. The market is respecting this type of pattern here, and here we have, followed a complex correction by an overall new structure low here. Momentum was weak, projection was good. Overall, I expected the market to give me a shallow to mid correction. This was an area that I was interested in from a absorption point of view, and I ended up getting in here. The market went in favor. The argument could have been made to get to the break even, as the market did interact with that lower candle here, but I didn't get to the break even. I didn't feel like I had great room here, and the projection was good. I didn't feel like the market was going to come in here, the buyers, and if they did, that it wouldn't be long lasting, and the market would not push up. However, that did not happen, so I didn't get to the break even, and then the expectation failed up here, as this is all complex correction. My stop was above that high, so I took a 31-point hit there. Quite the frustrating situation, but hey, it is what it is, right? We're here to follow rules, and we're here to do the best we can and give our trades opportunity for that maximum possible excursion. So once price broke here and we had that new structure high, I saw the absence of the sellers being able to come in and do something where they needed to. So because of that, I did not get a chance to rescue this trade here, as the market did clearly test that area. This area up here. The market did test that, as you can see here with the spike. However, price did not make it back for me to deploy my rescue mission. So as price making a new structure high, price came down here. We had a nice rotation here in an area where the buyers had absorbed. The short-term expectation was in alignment with the longer-term expectation of a new structure high. It was a clear and decisive opportunity for me to take the long. Stop needed to be below the main swing, which was below this area here, and I got taken out on the little spike below that. So once price came back up here, we had an expectation failure again, and price revisited this area again. We had a nice rotation, a little more expensive than I wanted, but that was the trade to take. My trade plan had me there. I had to take the risk, so I took the trade, and I managed it on the 1-to-1 expectation. So once price got to the break-even point here, we got to the break-even, and once price got to the 127, I didn't get aggressive there because I felt the market was strong. I already knew what the market was working towards. I saw the buyers come in here and just get handled to barely form a correction. So at the end of the day, what I did was I ended up trailing here, and once price completed the one-to-one, then I got aggressive and started trailing on the decision candle, and I got taken out here for 51 points. As you can see, again, we have that tendency of the winners outweighing the losers. We almost had this one winner, fell a little shorter on the trail, but this one winner erases two losers. And by keeping those risk reward odds in your favor, overall that gives you the best possible chances for growing your account. Remember, it's not about recovering, it's about growing the account. No matter what the balance is, your goal is to grow the account. And if you trade with those concepts in mind and those principles in mind, the recovery efforts speed up dramatically. Okay, and then the market just became very strong to the downside. Was not really correcting much, and wasn't looking for any trades here. I was just teaching a concept with some, with my group here about scaling in and how to scale in situations like this. But right now, our account size does not afford us the opportunity to be able to scale in, much less rescue a trade. But once we can get the account back to better territory, back to better grounds, then we can treat this, since the range of this is so large these days, and we find ourselves constantly with over 100-point swings, that we can deploy the scaling in concept like we do in the longer term to benefit from that as well, since it's extremely productive and efficient. That's it for the shorter term. There's nothing much else there to really cover or discuss. We will continue to beat that down and hopefully come out on top in the long run. But we without a doubt, we've been struggling like crazy here. But a testament to the strategy, a testament to the risk reward, and a testament to the trading state, that despite the brutal beatings that we're getting, we are still in relatively, decent position to still be able to recover and keep growing this account. We will keep fighting, we will keep digging, and we'll deploy whatever aspects of trade management, account management, and trading discipline we need to give this the best possible chance to provide a positive equity curve. Okay, so that's about it with that. Now on the longer term, I'm going to first bring in a post by a gentleman. I haven't really seen him in the thread. I don't know if he doesn't know how limit orders work. I don't know if it was a personal attack, whether he just doesn't believe that I trade large volume on a real account. He made some references to, not to believe the guru, whatever. One, I don't claim myself to be a guru in any way, shape, or form. Two, sir, whether you believe me or not, that's completely up to you. I'm not here to get into a pissing contest with you or anyone. I have no need, desire, or whatever to justify and show you things that are very private and very personal. I don't need to prove anything to you or anyone. You will simply find value in what I am teaching you, or you will not, and you will move on. If you're a successful trader, congratulations. If you are not, then stick around and take a step back and understand the principles and concepts of the trades, as opposed to trying to figure out whether I am actually trading 5 contracts, 300 contracts, or 3 million contracts. It doesn't matter. That was my reservation in the beginning by showing you guys the longer term, because we are going to come across people like this. They're going to question, that are going to be skeptical and have their own theories and ideas of how the market works. Okay, so that when you're entering with multiple contracts, your limit order is going to be processed, but it's not going to be processed at that price level. There has to be enough liquidity there, so you're going to get slipped, and you're going to get slipped across multiple price levels. The more contracts you do put in, the more you're going to get slipped until enough opposing orders are found to satisfy your overall position. that's going to cause slippage, and that slippage is going to happen across multiple price levels. Um, but again, I'm not here to educate you on how orders are processed, how orders are filled. That's not what this thread is about. This thread is about identifying proper chart reading skills, and implementing them, and creating yourself a positive trading strategy that relies on money management and trading state. Whether I don't know what your goal is, I don't know what your purpose is, and the old me used to stay here and and spend an hour trying to prove you wrong or trying to educate you on how things really work in the market. That's not me anymore, and I don't have the need nor the time to get into a little debate with you on whether I trade a real account or not. You simply choose to believe what you want, and I respect your opinion. Okay, but coming to someone else's house and bashing them, throwing stones, and calling them gurus and putting poison seeds in people's minds is just plain rude. It shows a lack of maturity. It shows a lack of overall fundamental knowledge of how things work. And that may not be your intent, and whether it is or is not, I really don't care, and I've invested too much time in this already. What I will ask you is that you detach yourself from how many points I've made on how many contracts, and focus on entries and exits. Okay, that's the takeaway here. It's not how much money I won or lost. It's not how many points I've made versus didn't make. It's about understanding what puts you into a trade from a chart reading point of view, and then how to manage that trade. Okay, and I will tell you that yes, when you're trading a lot of contracts, okay, and there's a lot of money on the line, it's very hard to manage these trades. Okay, but I'm going to get into the chart. I'm going to get into the why I took the trades, why I scaled in where I did, and why I managed the trades the way I did. Okay, and you will simply find value or you won't. You will simply either believe me or you won't. Either way, you're the one that has to live with whatever's in your head and the outcomes that produce within you and your trading. Again, very simple, and that goes for everyone. I am not here to be second guessed by you guys. I'm not here to get attacked by you guys. I'm simply trying to provide an invaluable service to you and those that have been struggling for a very long time. If the information is valuable, great. Let's make it better together. I learn from you guys too. Okay, but if you're gonna come in here and waste my time and throw stones at me and call me names and try to make me look like a fraud or whatever, you're wasting your time. And this is not the place for that. So go find yourself another place. Go find yourself someone else to harass or bully, or somebody who cares. All right, because I basically I don't. It is irritating. It is a little frustrating that after I spent all this time trying to work with you guys, we get these oddball people that come in here and want to play games and want to attack people and try to show to the world that because you can't succeed, then someone else can be possibly as successful as he is because you can't do it. Okay, I don't know why you can't do it. Maybe because you don't apply yourself. Maybe it's because you spend too much time trying to attack other people and not focus on the things that really matter. I don't know, and I don't care. And if this is a misunderstanding, well, then I apologize up front. If it's not, go find someone else to waste their time. All right. With all due respect, I just don't have the patience or tolerance for ignorance and bullying. I really don't. I don't have the temperament. I don't have the mastery, and I really don't have the time. All right. And I know I've carried on this. This is, I show you guys 100% transparency on all of my trading and on my emotions. I've attacked some people at times that come at me. Sometimes it was through my own misunderstanding. For the most part, I have a really good understanding of people's intentions. And I don't think this is a good intention comment here. This is a comment to try to smear, to try to degrade, to try to defraud somebody who's working very hard to try to put out there something free, completely free, that's a huge time constraint on my family and my lifestyle, okay, to teach people like you how to do something properly, for you to sit there and then start attacking people and attack the people in my thread that want to enlighten you, okay? And it's just uncalled for, you know. So I hope, okay, that you can take your head out of your ass, and I hope that you can, show some respect to me and the other ones here, and that we take a step back, okay, and learn from this experience and from the lessons that are being put here, but not only me, but by other people. Okay? So, again, I've said a lot, okay? And there has been some emotion in my response, because I don't like my time wasted. It is invaluable to me. This is the only commodity that we can't get back, okay? And I have wasted about 5 to 10 minutes of my life, okay, trying to set you straight. Okay? Let's move on. In the longer term trade, I entered here on the ABCD completion. Okay, it was also the 127 extension, and we had good confluence there to get to the short. So I entered there on my first order. Okay, couple of things. Okay, we were not working towards this yet until this high was taken out. Okay, but I got into this trade yesterday, and it went against me a little bit, and then it moved in favor. I was up 20, 30K at one point, and then the market found some support in this general area here, and then started moving aggressively up. So as you remember from earlier in the week, I mentioned about my will and interest to enter here short, as we had some longer term ABCDs completing their confluence, and we had good structure on these lines. I showed you guys, I believe, on the live stream, and this is the area that I was looking to enter originally. Okay, but because the market had been so bearish, and because the sellers were so active here and been able to move price when they've come in, this is a great area the market has sold off of, and there was good resistance there. So I felt the wanting to get short there on the ABCD completion here. Let me draw that up for you guys. Okay, so as the market came up here into the 127, good structure. I entered there as I wasn't completely sure the price would make it above this little area here. So once price got there and started turning, I got aggressive and I got short there. And then sure enough, price tested the little higher levels here. That's when it went against me a little bit and started moving down. Then as price started moving up against me, I knew I wanted to participate up here. I knew that would also be an expectation failure, and I knew the range was long. Okay, so a couple of things. I needed to get a really good average in price so I can get out of this trade. As price was engaging into these areas up here, once price broke this high, I'm like, okay, I have a pattern here. So I ran the ratios, and sure enough, we had a butterfly completing up here in an area of confluence, properly formatted pattern that fits the order flow off of a new structure high, in term with some other ABCD completions. This is a great area with enough space to enter a number of more hundreds of contracts, so I can average in the best possible price with the intent to get out of this thing. Had this been a Monday situation or a Tuesday situation, I would still be in this, and I would be looking for a break even here and trail here for the profit target. Okay, so I needed to get out of this. Remember, it's Friday, right? It's a holiday. There's a hurricane getting ready to hit my area in the next few days. So I don't know what the power is going to be like. I don't know what the internet's going to be like. I don't know what's going to happen. And on Sunday, we may have some, trading sanctions imposed on China, or the tariffs, I mean, and that's going to cause the market to go crazy. And if they are imposed, that would be great for my trade, because I think the market will respond bearish to that. the market will. And if they don't go, then that may be a bullish sign and this thing may just come out. So having all that at stake, understanding that's Friday, I needed to find a really, really good buy-in price so I can get aggressive if the market reacted to this level, and trail aggressively to get out of this trade. So, you know, it's one of those trades where I needed to break the rules and not trail on the trade itself because of the conditions that I've just mentioned. So I knew that by adding 300 contracts up there that I was going to find some liquidity there to fill those 300 contracts, and that I would also likely to get some sort of a much better scale in price by 2/3 instead of half, and that was going to offer me an opportunity to get out of this trade with some profit or with a graceful exit. That by all means I was going to get out of this trade before the market closed, regardless of where it was at. Okay, the stop was adjusted to just above this. It would have been a pretty sizable hit, but I've been really good. I haven't taken a big hit on the intraday in a long time, sitting on some really generous profits for the month, and because of that, the risk was worth the trade was worth the risk. Okay, so averaging in a better price once price got in favor and got to this area here. I started trailing and locking in points. I started trailing on decision candle, and I got taken out after that decision candle here. I was above there. I got slipped pretty bad on the way out. So these initial 100 contracts, those closed in losses, and the rest of the contracts all closed in gains. So a net win here of about 117 points or so, somewhere thereabouts, and with some slippage in mind, you know, gave us a really nice return and just added to the already very nice month that we had. The question was asked on the thread about why would I take this trade up here since it was against the expectation. Let's think about what this trade represents, or what the bat pattern represents. The bat pattern is always going to be a de-entry off of a new structure high, because to complete it has to create a new structure high, have an ABCD within that swing. Okay, so you kind of have like two patterns in one, and the expectation is not for a new structure low. You're absolutely right. The expectation is what? For a higher low and then a new structure high. So what we're trading here is a correction, you know, which is different than when you enter a C, you're trading into the expectation. So you have more, larger profit potential on this C's, on the C buys, and you have less profit potential on the D's. But when the D's line up properly, the D's are going to offer you the very best risk reward overall. And yes, you are trading a correction, and because you're trading a correction, you go to the break even of the 38% of the pattern, which is what? The first level of ratio support. There's usually some kind of structure in that area, and it is usually pretty close to the overall 618 of the pattern. So I'm sorry, of the swing. So the 618 is somewhere around here. Let's draw that here. Okay, so the 618 is right around there, and then when we draw the ABCD of the pattern, we see that the 38% is pretty close. It's not always perfect, you know, depends on how deep these legs are, you know, but it's in the neighborhood, and that's why we generally try to find that confluence of structure and ratios to help us understand that. So the 618 is around here, the 38% is the break even here. It's more symmetrical on the Gartley patterns. On these patterns, the D's are a little, you know, tricky. Sometimes they don't actually go to the 127. It's a combination of, you know, the extension of A to B and the X to A that creates that PRZ. But, you know, just as the pattern completed there, I had an order there. I got slipped up and down that whole area, which is where, you know, I guess that's what triggered the intelligent question by our good friend on the thread that was confused at how orders get filled and didn't see a 300 at one Pacific price point contract order, so assumed I'm full of crap. Um, Again, to you, I may always be full of crap, and that's fine. I just hope that you find value and you take yourself out of this, the need to prove someone wrong, as opposed to the need to learn something valuable. Okay, I much rather you focus on the need to learn something of value that you can use to enhance your trading. I'm not looking for anyone to trade like me. I'm just showing you guys how I read the chart and how I use the information that I use, the tools that I use to read the chart, and how I apply them to taking trades. But that's about it. We had a really, really good month in the longer term. Really, really, really crappy month on the intraday. I think that maybe for this month of September, what we'll do is we'll try to get a happy medium and a more balance between both accounts, so it's not too opposing in contrast. So this video has gone a little longer than I wanted to. Maybe a little bit of a rant in here. Maybe that's a little bit of short-term market frustration versus, I'm putting in a lot of time and effort here, and I don't like, nobody likes getting attacked. Kind of fell a little weak on the Jedi mastery skills here. I'm supposed to be above, the need to defend myself and the need to get attacked, and those things should be insignificant to me. But my time is valuable, and when someone accuses me of playing games with you guys, it makes me feel to some extent that I'm wasting my time, and that why am I even doing this if this is what I'm attracting, and I know that's one little insignificant pebble in a mountain of rocks, and I know that there's more appreciation than there is, but those things still kind of get under your skin and make you want to just throw a rotten tomato at somebody. Either way, that's my rant. I'm sorry. I love you guys. I try to grow a little more in that aspect. As part of the mastery skill, right? You can apply it to your charts, you can apply it to your decision making, you can also apply it to life. But at the end of the day, we all have our characters, we all have our tempers, and we all have our own defense mechanisms. Okay, but you guys have a wonderful weekend, a wonderful holiday. For those of you that are in the States and celebrate Labor Day, for those of you that are in the path of the storm, I will keep you in my prayers, keep me in your prayers, and hope that everything works out fine, and that this thing just either weakens or turns into a different direction and doesn't hurt other people. I don't want it to hurt me. I don't want it to hurt anybody. And I want it to be able to keep things the way they're supposed to be, so that we can get back to trading as quickly as possible. Again, have a great weekend, and thank you all for your time. And I am going to work on mastering the skill of ignoring dumbasses, and focusing the time on those of you that are really appreciative of it. So thank you very much, and in the future I think I am going to try really, really hard to ignore ignorant comments, and to spend the time better on the things that are going to help us and keep us growing. Thank you very much, and good night and good trading.